I was watching The Tenth Kingdom a couple days ago, and it was a mini-series that appeared on... I don't know if it was on Sci-Fi or not, but it was a mini-series that was on one channel or another a couple years ago. It's a movie I really enjoy, actually. It had a lot of the Cinderella, fairy tale, Red Riding Hood kind of thing. Really a funny movie. If you don't believe me or don't agree with me, I mean, come on, the line, "suck an elf," that has to be better than, dropping an F-bomb. Next time you see somebody and they piss you off, tell them to go suck an elf. Anyway, like I said, it's a movie about fairy tales and happy endings and not so happy endings. And I found a book in my book collection that dealt with bedtime story, modern tales for our life and times. So I thought I'd read it, or at least one of the stories in there, because I found it very interesting. I hadn't read a bedtime story in quite a while, so here we go. Here we go. Chicken Little. Chicken Little lived on a winding country lane surrounded by tall oak trees. It should be mentioned here that the name Little was a family name and not a derogatory, size-biased nickname. It was only by sheer coincidence that Chicken Little was also of shorter than average height. One day, Chicken Little was playing in the road when a gust of wind blew through the trees. An acorn was blown loose and hit Chicken Little squarely in the head. Now, while Chicken Little had a small brain in the physical sense, she did use it to the best of her abilities. So when she screamed, "The sky is falling! The sky is falling!" her conclusion was not wrong, or stupid, or silly, only logically under-enhanced. Chicken Little ran down the road until she came to the house of her neighbor, Henny Penny, who was tending her garden. This was a simple task, since she didn't use any insecticide, herbicide, or fertilizer, and also permitted the native non-edible varieties of wildflower, sometimes branded weeds, to mingle with her food crops. So lost amid the foliage, Henny Penny heard Chicken Little's voice long before she saw her. "The sky is falling! The sky is falling!" Henny Penny stuck her head out from her garden and said, "Chicken Little, why are you carrying on so?" Chicken Little said, "I was playing in the road when a huge chunk of the sky fell and landed on my head. See? There's the bump to prove it." "There's just one thing to do," said Henny Penny. "What's that?" said Chicken Little. "Sue the bastards," said Henny Penny. Chicken Little was puzzled. Sue for what? Personal injury, discrimination, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, torturous interference, the tort of outrage, you name it, we'll sue for it. "Good gracious," said Chicken Little, "what will we get for all of that?" "We can get payment for pain and suffering, compensatory damages, punitive damages, disability and disfigurement, long-term care, mental anguish, impaired earning power, loss of esteem." "Person, oh person," said Chicken Little joyfully. "Who are we going to sue?" "Well, I don't think the sky per se is recognized as a suable entity by the state," said Henny Penny. "I guess we should go find a lawyer and learn who is suable," said Chicken Little, her diminutive brain working overtime. "That's a good idea, and while we're there, I can ask whom to sue for these ridiculously bony legs of mine. They've caused me nothing but anguish and embarrassment my whole life, and I should be compensated somehow for all of that." So they ran further down the road until they came to the house of their neighbor, Goosey Lucy. Goosey Lucy was busy teaching her canine animal companion to eat grass so she could avoid the guilty feelings that came with feeding her dog processed animal carcasses from the can. "The sky is falling! The sky is falling! Sue the bastards! Sue the bastards!" Goosey Lucy leaned over her fence and said, "Land's sakes, why are you two carrying on so?" "I was playing in the road and a piece of sky fell on my head," explained Chicken Little. "So we're going to find a lawyer to tell us whom we can sue for both her injuries and for my bony legs." "Oh, good! Can I come and sue someone for my long gangly neck?" "You know, nothing really flatters it, so I'm convinced there's a conspiracy within the fashion industry against long-necked waterfowl." So the three of them ran down the road looking for legal assistance. "The sky is falling, the sky is falling! Sue the bastards! Sue the bastards! Smash the conspiracy! Smash the conspiracy!" Further down the road, they met Foxy Loxy, who was dressed in a blue suit and carried a briefcase. He held up a paw to halt the entourage. "And what are you three doing out on this lovely day?" asked Foxy Loxy. "We're looking for someone to sue," they shouted in unison. "What are your grievances? Personal injury? Discrimination? Intentional infliction of emotional distress? Negligent infliction of emotional distress? Tortious interference? The tort of outrage?" "Oh, yes, yes," the three said excitedly. "All that and more." "Well, then, you're in luck," said Foxy Loxy. "My caseload has just eased up, so I will be able to represent you in any and all lawsuits that we can manage to bring." The trio cheered and flapped their wings. Chicken Little asked, "But who are we going to sue?" Without missing a beat, Foxy Loxy said, "Who aren't we going to sue? 3 hapless victims such as yourself will be able to find more guilty parties than you can shake a writ at. Now let's all step into my office so we can discuss this further." Foxy Loxy walked over to a small black metal door that was inside of a small hill nearby. "Step right this way," he said as he lifted the latch, but the black door wouldn't open. Foxy Loxy tugged on it with one paw, then with both. It still wouldn't budge. He yanked and pulled violently, cursing the door, its mental abilities, and its sexual history. Finally, the door swung open, and a huge ball of fire shot out. This was really the door to Foxy Loxy's oven. But unfortunately for him, the ball of fire engulfed his head, burned off every hair, whisker, and left him totally catatonic. Chicken Little, Henny Penny, and Goosey Lucy ran away, thankful that they had not been devoured. However, the family of Foxy Loxy caught up with them. In addition to suing the manufacturer of the oven door on behalf of Foxy Loxy, the family brought suit against the 3 above-named barnyard fowl, claiming entrapment, reckless endangerment, and fraud. The family sought payment for pain and suffering, compensatory damages, punitive damages, disability and disfigurement, long-term care, mental anguish, impaired earning power, loss of esteem, and the loss of a good dinner. The 3 birds later brought a countersuit, and they've all been battling in court from that day to this. The end. You know, it's just as great as I remember it. You know, I really didn't think I was going to make it past it, but unfortunately for him, the ball of fire engulfed his head. Because I was laughing my butt off before.